Hello everybody, hope you're doing well, and this is a really quick video because I am literally just about to step out the door to travel, and of course I didn't really wanted to jump to make this video, but I kind of feel like it's important because a lot of people are looking towards the future, and of course things like the gifting events. So the information around what is potentially in, and take this with a pinch of salt, it could be right, it could be wrong. There's some information that we don't know, but the greater Banquet Crystal. Okay, so MCOC player, I'll put a link to this in the description, and this is from Twitter. So I'm sure people will go like, well, you're covering a potential leak. We don't know if it's true. As much as like I'm sure that this information is true. We don't know that this is exactly it. And also there's some other, details and information that of course we need to see. But if indeed this does turn out to be true, this could be quite interesting for a lot of players, especially for the future. Of course, one thing we'll quickly do in this video is compare off against the previous year's Greater Banquet Crystal, because it's all about, again, perspective. And do bear in mind, these crystals cost a lot. They cost 300 units. That's a lot. If we put it this way, it's like, what is that? 8 revive. It's the equivalent to 8 revives. It's whatever it is. Potions wise, it's expensive. It's 10 energy refills. You want to feel like you're getting something good for this. So the main thing from this is a guarantee of 250k gold, then tier 5 or 6 class ISO 8 chunks, and a bonus item. The bonus item can be one of the following: tier 2 alpha catalyst, tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments. Hope it's not tier 2. I hope they've kind of like dealt with this better, because the problem is a lot of Paragon players, a lot of players in general, are kind of saying we've got too many tier 2 alphas, kind of like just, too much. There's too much there in our inventories, our stashes. Tier 4 alpha catalyst fragments, that's the biggest thing. I thought Kabam, and this is the thing where I have to question, I'm not saying that this is not true, but at the same time, it's odd that because Kabam were like, well, we're not gonna give out a huge amount of these tier 4 alpha catalyst fragments. But then again, you kind of then say to yourself, hang on a minute. Something goes ding. Didn't Kabam play this similar game last year, the year before that, when particular meta or chase items seem to be around RNG, spending a lot on these crystals will, likely give a good chunk back. And then this is something again where you might have, and where this is important, and as much as like, people would say like, oh, you're covering leaks, you shouldn't be covering leaks. Well, this is when things, become very interesting to you as a player to go, well, I'm going to invest a lot. People are going to invest a lot of units into Cyber Weekend. And if they're feeling that they're not getting that much tier 4 alpha, would they be inclined to save back a lot of those units to then rapidly invest into getting crystals at a chance of getting more tier 4 alpha? But the issue is we don't know the increments. And when I say increments, I mean the amount. Like if you're getting 1,000 tier 4 alpha catalyst fragments, you'll probably go, well, that's not an economical way of kind of looking at going Cyber Weekend versus this. I'm just offering my opinion and, identification and dissection of the value of Cyber Weekend versus, Banquet Event. And that's something we'll cover in a video. As I said, I'm just about to step out the door. I'm going to this works retreat. I can't be covering all of it in the detail I'd like. I will try and do my best over the weekend. So if you bear with me, of course, we'll cover this stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I'll be taking notes whilst I'm away on what's going down. But as well, Kabam are giving out Titan Crystal Shards left, right, and centre, it seems. Let's get the red circle of doom in just so we can kind of like highlight the areas aforementioned. But yeah, they're giving out Titan Crystals. Shout out to MCC player who's kind of like color coded a lot of this stuff. 6-star Nexus Hero Crystal, yeah, nice. 6-star Awakening Gem, nice. 7-star Crystal Shards, nice. No 7-star Awakening Gem. I suspect that's going to be in there next year if I was to hazard any kind of guess with it. Gifted Guardians Crystal, a Paragon Gifted Guardians Crystal, which is going to be something I think exclusive to certain particular progressions. And again, just to reiterate, this may not be correct. This leak may or may not be correct, but this is information from MCOC player. Gifted Guardians is Moondragon, Sandman, Diablo, Adam Warlock, Shocker, and Professor X. Okay, and then there's five or six tier 6, tier 6 or tier 5 basic fragments. Oh great, not tier 5 again. Tier 5 class catalyst selector, tier 6 class catalyst or fragments. No selector, but okay, it is what it is. And Trophy Champions featuring Vision, Kang, Thanos, Wolverine, Weapon X, Jessica Jones, and a 7-star Kang or 7-star Thanos. So that kind of gives you the idea there. Not really kind of meta-based champions. I've seen some fun synergies and champion configurations. But again, if this turns out to be true, which as I said, we don't know, 100% that this information is accurate. Not saying anything against MCOC player. It's just a case of like, we don't know. So, of course, we've got to wait a fair old chunk of time. We've probably got to wait about 2, 3, maybe actually, I'd say just less than a month, maybe 3 weeks plus. Maybe Kabam will give information out with the information that they do with the next month's quest stuff in 2 weeks' time, potentially. I don't really know. There are some other bits of information MCC player has put out, but that is for Alliance raids, and that's something that goes into early next year. So there's nothing to say that's going to be the case. And as I said, there's no, I'm not getting at MCC player. I'm not. I don't really cover leaks on this channel, but I thought, as I said, that this would be important to put into perspective for players because people are spending so many units. They're also spending their money, hard-earned money, on stuff in game. So they want to make sure they're getting something back from it. And as well, you want to be prepared for the future. Is it going to be a case I'm saying like, oh, save all your money and all your units because you get tier 4 class catalyst fragments in the greater banquet crystals? Well, we don't know. We don't know this is if this information is 100% accurate, and at the same time, like, you may be waiting, you may be disappointed. But those rank rewards are going to be something that will entice players. And it's a bit of an interesting game that Kabam, of course, play as to when they release information, because people want to make decisions. They want to make logical decisions. And it's just, it just becomes a bit of a tough one, doesn't it? But yes, good luck to everybody in that. Interesting because, of course, there's no kind of percentage drops. For me, that's going to be the most important thing. Last year's percentage drops for stuff were 6-star hero, 0.43%. Tier 3 alpha, 0.5%. And then you've got splattering of other things. So the percentages were more high with things like 6-star shards. Will it be a case it's the same thing with 25%? Will there be a new percentage kind of like element to it? How high? That's the other question. How high do we think 7-star crystal shards are going to be in this? Like, could they be something like, well, tier 6 class catalyst fragments are not as meta. So that 1.5%. Would that be likely to be up to about, 10%? A 10% chance to get tier 6 class catalyst? I think it's a very fair shout to do that. And will tier 4, tier 3 will definitely go up from 0.5, and tier 6 should go up again from 0.5. Like, I expect all the previous meta, so the ones I've just pointed out, previous meta chase rewards from last year, I suspect would go up. It just would not make much of a sense for that one, especially because it's like, last year there was scrap. Do you remember that? There was scrap in the and it was like, okay, I guess this year this kind of whatever this Guardian's crystal is will play some part in the meta for the month, but that would be that'd be interesting, especially 7-star. Adam Warlock sounds cool. Shocker as well as a 7-star sounds nice. So there's a lot of them sound particularly good in some capacity. 6-star signature stones I think have definitely decreased in value. The same with 6-star awakening gems. So I kind of foresee that going down in some sort of shape or form, especially again because it's previous meta items and everybody gets 6-star awakening gems left, right, and center. So the value of it is should go down with it. But go up with it, sorry. So yeah, there's kind of like a lot of interesting things that could come up from this. And I think a lot of us are in the same kind of boat with this. Like, yes, it could be that information is... I don't think in good conscience it's kind of like it's fake. But the thing is, it's like, well, when Kabam announces, then of course we know, right? That's when we know stuff. And I'll probably preface this particular video thumbnail and stuff with a question mark. As I said, apologies to anybody that's kind of annoyed that I covered something that's been, potentially leaked. But as I said, there's kind of more to the MCOC. It's not like it's a new event. I don't know. I do feel very passionately about these particular crystals because, as I said, investing units is very important. It is your premium currency in game. It's what people spend money on grabbing for the game, and you want to know ahead of time that there's more value to what you're getting back. You know, you don't want to spend your money, your units, and kind of say to yourself, "I'm not getting value for money." Of course, these are RNG crystals, and you kind of go like, well, you take the rough with the smooth there. Was I hoping for 7-star signature stones if this indeed information is correct? Yeah, that would have been great. 7-star awakening gems, Holy Grail would have been great. I mean, 7 stars put in here, but it's too early. I think for Kabam it's too early. Would spenders would they have liked to have seen that? Possibly. One thing to note is that take all of this with a pinch of salt because we don't know the increments. How many volumes of 6-star shards are we going to get this year? How many 7-star shards are we going to get here? Is it definitely a 7-star fully formed crystal that is within here? There's questions that need answers. There's Titan crystal shards, a very rare, element to this game. Lots of questions, need answers, and of course, nearer to the event being launched, we'll get the answer to the questions. Shout out to MCC Player. Of course, we need to scrutinize, and of course, we need to kind of like hope and also go, should there have been more? Do we know how they've been increased? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but thank you very much for watching this video. Check out some other content located on screen, and I'll see you all when I'm back late tomorrow.